Welcome to Lessons in Leadership, Steve Adubato. I feel like I'm shot out of a cannon, Mary. I think this is the third or fourth program we're doing. We're doing 9 today, 9 interviews?
Yeah,
nine shows, 9 full shows. And previously, we had the great Ira Robbins, who is the CEO of Valley Bank. And we're joined by 2 of his top leaders, the top leaders at Valley, Yvonne Surowiec, who is Senior Executive Vice President, Chief People Officer. Don't confuse that. That's Chief People Officer at Valley Bank, and also Sabine Salvatore, Director of Learning and Development at Valley Bank. Good to see you, our friends.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Steve.
Let me do this. I told you before that when I had Ira on, I wore this tie. Yvonne, these are the official Valley colors, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
They are very impressive, Steve.
Was it appropriate brown nosing or just gratuitous brown nosing?
Appropriate.
I just want to clarify that.
We're always proud of Valley, so we'll take it.
Yeah, and speaking of Valley, for 5-6 years now, we've been working, our company Stand Deliver has been working with the leadership at Valley Bank for the Valley Bank Leadership Academy. Yvonne, tee that up because Sabine has been the key player in helping us craft, pivot, change the curriculum and make it better. What is that academy and why is it so important, Yvonne?
So it's at the top of our leadership framework, if you will, the Leadership Academy, in that we have tiers for different levels of leadership. This is for the most senior leaders, and they are nominated to the program. And they go through the experience both from a programmatic perspective, dealing with strategic kind of thinking, as well as some other things. And then they get individual coaching from you, Steve. And I think it's been working pretty well. It's left an imprint and continue to strengthen the leadership bench for Valley.
But a lot of that is because of the Valley team, and in all candor, Sabine Salvatore, who has been so key to that. Sabine, let me just put this out there, and this isn't about all of our offline conversations. To what degree do you see it as your role as a leader at Valley to constantly say, hey, wait a minute, let's focus on this. We need less on that. Let's pivot, let's adapt, let's change the curriculum. Let's be more intentional. Ira was saying before, people decide to be leaders. That's the kind of leader you've decided to be, Sabine.
Certainly, I think my leadership style, Steve, has evolved a great deal over my last 20 plus years here at Valley. But bringing it back to the Valley Leadership Academy, I think what has been so impressive for me this year is the partnership with you and Mary, and how we've been able to really, the program is not out of a book, right, necessarily. Although certainly we have leveraged some of your extensive.
I'm sorry, were you talking about
yes,
this?
Yes,
right
we've leveraged your extensive writing, certainly.
Go ahead. I apologize. It's too emotional. Go ahead.
But I think what makes the program so critical here is that it's happening real time. We've implemented the strategies, whether it's 2023, we're implementing the strategies into 2024. We're having dialogue about how these leaders in the academy are going to impact the strategy, how they're going to impact their teams. So I think we are changing and pivoting real time based on the needs of the organization, and in tandem, focusing on the development, personal and professional, of these critical leaders in the academy.
And along those lines, Mary, as you jump in here, one of the things we talked about, by the way, I noticed Yvonne is now dealing with technology issues.
I loved it. And nobody would have even known, because I put down an edit note. No one would have known, and now you're just drawing attention to it.
No, but I did it on purpose because real time, and there's a point here, trust me, that Sabine's talking about real time. To me, everything is a leadership opportunity in terms of how you choose to deal with it. And one of the things we brought up, Mary, with the Ira interview, Ira Robbins, is a strategic forum in Orlando that took place, that talked about a reorg, that talked about raising the bar at Valley, talked about where we need to be, and the status quo is not an option. Who moved my cheese, Dr. Spencer Johnson? The cheese keeps moving. Mary, talk about how important it is for us as coaches in leadership to use real life, real time situations, scenarios, challenges, and turning them into, I know it's a loaded question,
It's
into
so
the
loaded.
curriculum.
No,
But
it's absolutely true. And when the pandemic happened, we immediately said, all right, we're going to pivot. What skills and tools do the leaders that we're coaching need? They need to learn how to use Zoom. They need to learn how to engage. They need to have those cameras on and make eye contact. So all of those are ways that we have pivoted and evolved. And Yvonne, I would love to jump off of what Steve was just talking about, that summit in Orlando, but more importantly, the key culture, the key pillars, if you will. I know out of that came integrity, people focused, client centric, accountable, and performance driven. So I know that's a lot, but talk a little bit, Yvonne, about the culture at Valley and how you really instill those 5 pillars, if you will, the non-negotiables. How do you instill that in the culture of each and every team member throughout Valley, which is constantly growing and evolving?
I love the question, Mary. In fact, we spent more time this past year dialoguing about our culture than we have in the last 4 or 5 years. And that was so intentional because as we grow and scale as an organization, our culture is strong. It's always been strong. Our people are committed. They really engage, if you will. Our engagement is high. Yet, we're an amalgamation of many cultures in that we've acquired institutions. We're across the geographic footprint, if you will. And so what we realized is we needed clarity. We needed clarity in terms of what was most important. And it's not really science per se, but to us, and we did coin the word non-negotiables. What are the
why
non-negotiables? Which means you can have some subcultural elements and that's all fine, but what are the most important? And we kept it to 5. We intentionally said 5 is the max. What are the 5 most important elements of our culture that we want to preserve as we continue to evolve as an organization, as we continue to hire, as we continue to build leadership, as we continue to promote, as we continue to acquire? What are those elements that are most important to us? And so we did a number of leadership work sessions. We took feedback from our town halls, and ultimately we aligned. And alignment is not agreement. We aligned on what are the 5 most important non-negotiables.
Sabine, you're shaking your head when your colleague, when Yvonne talks about the 5 non-negotiables: integrity, people focused, client centric, accountable, and performance driven. Say it again. Alignment is not agreement, Yvonne, correct?
Correct. You can agree, but really what's more important is that we aligned, that you align to these non-negotiables, because agreeing, you can nod your head, oh yeah, that sounds great. Those are 5 great words. There's something. So when we say performance driven, we mean everybody, every one of us needs to bring our A game. So we have we have words behind the non-negotiables that describe the behaviors in terms of what the expectations are.
Jump in there, Sabine.
No, I mean, I echo exactly what Yvonne has said. I think agreement is probably easy, dare I say. Yes, we agree. We
Head nodding.
We listen. We say, yeah, okay. It's what happens after that is the lift, the hard work, the alignment, the execution. And I think that's where growth and change are going to happen.
Sabine, I want to follow up with you on this. We asked Ira about this, and I'm not sure. Nothing seems like it's challenging for Ira, even though I try to come at him with all different questions. And we should also make it clear in the Valley Leadership Academy, we have top-level Valley executives in a Q&A every time. Unscripted, Yvonne?
Unscripted. As we are now, unscripted.
And there's a reason for that. It's not all over the place. It's focused, but it's a genuine conversation. In that spirit, Sabine, I asked Ira this question. I said, Ira, whether it was in Orlando at the strategy forum or in other situations, you've raised the bar. You've put more pressure on people to perform. You've said the status quo is not an option. You said this is where we need to be, and this is why in a competitive marketplace. And I said, what about the impact on your people, Ira? I mean, how much do you think about that? When we talk about wellness, and the Valley Leadership Academy was the first to incorporate wellness and leadership into the seminar content. There's a question here, Sabine. How much do you and Yvonne have to be focused on the impact of these higher bars on people, the people of Valley?
It is critical for Yvonne and I to focus on our people. That's what we do here. I think we are the people ambassadors I know you and I and Mary have chatted a great deal
We sure
about
have.
well-being, especially in this environment. I think as a leader, I'd like to say a leader in these stressful and turbulent times, self-care becomes critical. First, your own self-care, and what are you doing as a leader to support your teams? So I think you have to set the example. I don't know, Yvonne, what would you add to that?
But as Yvonne jumps back in here, and this is the question with Ira, and people should check out that interview with Ira, because he said, look, it's healthy pressure. It's healthy pressure, and some people won't be able to handle it. And some people we may lose in the process, but we also need to create an environment that supports people achieving these goals. Do you see it as healthy? When I say pressure, it's performance driven, Yvonne. Do you believe there's a distinction between healthy pressure to perform versus, oh, that's just a ridiculous goal, and it destroys people's lives?
So I agree with Ira, although I wish we used a different word than pressure, but I think people
That's my word, not his. I
healthy
used it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people want to be challenged. They want to be challenged with exciting work. They want to live up to expectations, if you will. And I think when you give somebody a challenge and they rise to the occasion, I think they feel even better. So for me, I think we're a services business, and like every services business, we don't manufacture anything. We are the people. We offer client service, we offer, banking services, financial services, et cetera. And so it's about the people. What we offer are really, services that are, dependent upon those relationships that the people have with our customers and our people internally in terms of collaborating and working together. So I think for us, I think it's all about the people.
Pressure is the wrong word, Sabine. It is challenge. Your colleague is right. Sabine, go ahead, and then Mary, jump back in.
No, for me, Steve, it's creating an environment where we allow our teams to thrive, whether it's in turbulent times, whether it's in pressure situation, whether the deadlines are extremely tight. I think it's the environment that we create where the associates are able to deliver, whether we are giving them the skills and the tools to deliver. As leaders, are we creating an environment where we're listening, where ideas are flowing so we can deliver on these expectations? Are we encouraging, I don't know, some level of curiosity? Because I think if we provide an environment, whether for self-care or otherwise, that encourages all these things, I think the pressure may lessen a little bit.
But Mary, along those lines, we got a minute left. You can do all the things to promote wellness, family first, everything that we're about in our company, and I know Valley is as well, to be sensitive and understanding of people's situations and all that. But some people, Mary, and I won't get on my soapbox, can't and don't and won't rise to the challenge. And they can't be on the bus. It's just
Exactly.
that way. Go ahead, Mary.
No, that's exactly right. And I'm just smiling because right before we jumped on, I said this was one of the segments I was really looking forward to because of the women leadership component, right? Look at the screen right now. We have 3 powerful, successful women and talking about leadership. And that's just that, Steve. It's all about, and you, Steve, no, but it's just I'm very proud to be in a world right now where we can be having this conversation. We can be hearing Yvonne and Sabine talk about leading this organization forward, talking about culture, talking about building people up, both women, men, everyone on their team. And it just makes me very excited and invigorated. So I'm really excited for the future.
And along those lines, I know we went way past what we were supposed to say. Elvin, who happens to be a man, who our director is saying, hey, you're 15 minutes in. It was supposed to be a 10-minute segment. I get it, Elvin. We're not going to edit anything out. But I want to say this about everything Mary said, Yvonne and Sabine. There's a lot of lip service around wellness, a lot of check off the box. The work that Valley is doing, particularly through the chief people officer operation that Yvonne leads, and also the learning and development operation that Sabine leads, let me say this, the wellness and leadership connection is real. There's no BS around it. It's honest talk about what people need in the midst of challenging and turbulent times, because they ain't changing. It's just whether we're giving people the support they need to be well and to promote wellness on the team. I'm off my soapbox for Mary and myself, but also to Yvonne and Sabine. Thank you. It has been an honor to work along with Valley and the Leadership Academy. We learn every day together. Thanks so much, team.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
And by the way, you clearly totally unscripted. We're coming from all different places. Stay tuned. Lessons in Leadership will be right back after this. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, the Helix, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Fedway Associates Inc., Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Veolia, Resourcing the World, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media.
Life is unpredictable. Health insurance shouldn't be. For over 90 years, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey has provided quality, affordable health plans to New Jersey residents. We have served generations of New Jersey families and businesses and are committed to driving innovations that put you at the heart of everything we do. Our members are our neighbors, our friends, and our families. We're here when you need us most. Horizon, proud to be New Jersey.
Lessons in Leadership would like to thank our newest sponsors who make our programming possible, including the Helix, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Lessons in Leadership is pleased to welcome Kevin Lenahan, who is Executive Vice President, Chief Business and Strategy Officer, Atlantic Health System. Good to see you, Kevin.
Good to see you, Steve. Thank you for having me here today.
You got it. Let me ask you this. We talk a lot about partnerships, strategic growth and partnerships, a lot of rhetoric and a lot of jargony buzzwords about it.
Sure.
From your perspective and the team at Atlantic Health, what does that really mean? What does that have to do with leadership?
Sure. For us, it's learning how to work with other people in the community, and it could be clinical and it could be non-clinical. So we have a great partnership with New York Jets, Chris Johnson, Woody Johnson, Jaime Ali, great organization, and they do a lot of stuff for us here at Atlantic Health. Besides visiting our patients and stuff, we get to work with them in different programs, and that's helped us grow and develop. We have one of the nation's best sports health program. Matt Martinez, one of the leading sports cardiologists in the country. So that, we get to work together on different initiatives. And then we also partner with our doctors, different doctors, and how we can help them have a better lifestyle, improve access for our patient, get them the right tools that they need. And then we partner with other healthcare systems. We created something called Healthcare Transformation Consortium, HTC. We partner with Valley Hospital and Audrey Myers and Les Hirsch and the St. Peter's team and a number of other health systems to lower the cost of care and improve quality.
Well said. Mary.
Yeah, I want to address the elephant in the room, Kevin. When it comes down to all these partnerships, it all sounds good and great on paper. How do you successfully integrate the different cultures of all these different organizations, all these different partners to get that buy-in, to get that continuum of care? How do you do that when you've got so many different partners?
That's a great question. And what we do there, for us, we ask ourselves three questions. First, it's quality. It's got to be about quality. It's got to be a quality organization. They got to be known for quality on that. And the second question is fit. And you got to make sure that their cultures align with what we're trying to achieve. So whether it's with the Jets or clinical, not everything's going to fit. And if we can't find the right fit from the right partners, we walk away. If you can get those first two, you can figure out business terms. But those two things come first. It's got to be quality for our patients, for our team members, and then again finding the right culture so that we can work together and be successful.
Okay, let me follow up on that because this is interesting. I happen to you may ask, why am I doing this? So I have my Jets football down. I really do.
He's
I
got
really
a
do.
magic, like the magic garden of all these different props that he just pulls out from everywhere.
But I have a Jets football downstairs. When I'm watching a Jet game, I have it around.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. How do you, and this is a really tough one, Jets and Giants, some of us are fans of both teams, but both teams share the same stadium. And sometimes, let's just say, the partnership can be rough. What I mean by that is they have to coordinate, collaborate, and be partners.
Sure.
How the heck, from your point of view, Kevin, on behalf of Atlantic Health, do you collaborate with others who in one sense, well, they're competitors.
Sure.
In another sense, they're partners.
Sure.
But then they're both.
Yeah, I can give you an outstanding example on that. During COVID, when the three CEOs, Atlantic Health, RWJ, and Hackensack, put everything aside and said, we got to do what's best for the community. How do we work together during COVID to make sure people have supplies, make sure people get vaccinated? We put all the competitiveness on the side, and we all worked about how we can help the communities we serve. So we'll partner, we'll share ideas with the other systems on health. We find new techniques. Because we want to benefit, we all want to benefit the community, and we'll compete where we got to compete in different areas, but we all try to figure out what's best for our local communities, and kind of grow from there.
It's so interesting, Mary. Everyone, share of the market share is critical. It's important in the media business. It's important in the healthcare business. But then there are times when the circumstance, the situation, the challenge, the crisis, as you were talking about COVID, requires that you put market share aside.
Yeah.
But that takes real leadership. Mary, jump back in.
Yeah, definitely. When you were going through beyond COVID, obviously, that was such a challenge, but just forming these partnerships, what was the greatest leadership lesson that you have learned in terms of making sure? I know Luke and your team have been great. We were talking about really.
Has been a great partner.
Exactly. And Atlantic Health System just has a different approach to these partnerships. It's not about mergers, acquisitions per se. It's more about partnering. But what was the greatest leadership lesson that you've learned in really just forging these successful partnerships?
Well, I think it comes down to communication, making sure that you're communicating, reaffirming what you thought you heard back to your prospective partners, and all understanding what we're all trying to get out of this. What are we all trying to get to? So, like on the HTC, it's about reducing the overall cost of care, improving quality. If that's the guiding light, what we're doing, we'll figure out all the other principles and the other issues we have. We're not worried about who's in charge and all that. It's sharing leadership at times with other people. But again, it's about communicating. Make sure you're constantly on the same page about what you're trying to get, what you're trying to achieve.
Let me try this, because so much of our work, not just in this series, Lessons in Leadership, but also our leadership and communication firm, Stand and Deliver, it's about coaching and helping people develop to become stronger leaders. Within Atlantic Health, how do you view, and I know Brian Granulotti is the leader, and we've spoken to Luke about these issues as well, how do you expect leaders to develop, to grow, to get stronger? Do you see it as organic and it happens over time? Or does it have to be, again, Mary's favorite 2024 word? Mary, what's the word?
Intentional.
Yeah.
Intentional.
I think I might get an intentional tattoo somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Mary, I've stolen that word as my favorite word now, but go ahead.
It is. There's no other word for 2024. I'm sorry. It's it.
Yeah. Is it organic or intentional? Yeah. And leadership development. Go ahead. Sorry,
I
Kevin.
think it's a little bit of both. You need to put employees or leaders in different opportunities, give them different opportunities to see where they can grow and to get to know what the best you can get out of them. In addition to that, we do a lot of training. We have a lot of training and education. A number of our executives have coaches, executive coaches. Right. Ironically, I had my executive coach today, so I have an executive coach. Spoke to him this morning. So we provide different other tools for our executives to learn. We share experiences. We have different leadership meetings. Every quarter, we have quarterly leadership meetings where we talk about what we're doing. But we try to put leaders in different spots here in Atlantic Health so they can get different approaches or different feels of what they're doing. Could be in a hospital setting, and then you're in an ambulatory setting, or then you're in a physician practice setting, just so you understand and get the full feel where our patients are coming from and where our doctors are coming from when they're trying to work with us.
One more quick question. I mentioned this book earlier, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, one of the classics when it comes to leadership and the need to change and evolve, and the concept of the cheese, otherwise known as whatever you're looking for in life, constantly is moving, and these mice are going through this maze and they expect the cheese to be in the same place all the time, but it's not. Now, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? In the healthcare industry, the cheese keeps moving, Kevin.
Yep.
Always.
Yep, for sure.
How hard is it and how challenging is it to help folks on the team understand the cheese keeps moving, the game keeps changing, technology is changing, COVID changed our life, the government's changing regulations, the feds want you to do this or that.
Right.
How challenging is it to let everyone know the status quo and staying where you are is never an option and the cheese keeps moving?
No, I agree. Status quo is going backwards. It comes to education, keeping people informed about what's going on, encouraging them to stay current in what they are, encouraging them to continue to educate themselves, take courses, continue to learn what's going on, and try to figure out where the puck's going and how do we get there. And
So hold on, the great Wayne Gretzky, what did he say?
Skate to where the puck's going, not where it was.
And how's that relevant to this?
Because we know in healthcare, a lot of stuff's going ambulatory, not necessarily on the hospital side. So how do we build up our ambulatory process? How do we improve access so people can make appointments quicker? And how do we make sure that patients are in the right setting? They're not getting more care than they need. They're getting the appropriate care. And are we investing in the right spots? Either investing back in infrastructure in a hospital, or are we investing in ambulatory buildings and putting the clinics where the patients are, so they don't have to travel as much.
Before I let you go, Mary, you love that I always have props, and we were just talking about the great.
I don't even want to know where you're going with this one.
Hey, what about when I pull out my I got basketball, I got football, I got a baseball, I got all kinds of. Mary, what happens when I pull out my hockey puck that you don't know I have?
Oh, do you really?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
Mary, hold on before I let you go, because you're a Devils fan, and you probably didn't even like the Wayne Gretzky quote. But
I love the Wayne Gretzky quote. I use it all the time.
Okay, but it was said by Wayne Gretzky. No one on the Devils. I want to be clear, right?
That is correct.
No.
Okay, but Mary, how the heck do we know where the puck's going to be?
You need to be innovative. You need to be creative. You need to be forward thinking, and you can't be stuck in a rut. You need to just get outside of your comfort zone and take past situations, apply it to future situations, and that'll help you to at least guess. I'd rather be in the wrong spot and have the puck maybe over there, but at least then I'm moving my feet. Never want to be flat-footed when you're on skates.
I agree. We do a lot of
Go ahead,
scenarios.
Kevin. Go ahead.
Sure that we understand what are the ramifications if the puck went here, or here.
Exactly. You got to just think that all through.
But the one thing we know for sure is the puck, as a metaphor for the world we're in, is never going to stay where it is.
Nope.
Is that fair, Kevin?
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely.
That's it. Steve Adubato, Mary Gamba, Lessons in Leadership, Kevin Lenahan from Atlantic Health System. I want to thank you so much for joining us. To you, to Luke and the team
Thank you.
at Atlantic Health, we thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Steve.
Lessons in Leadership, the puck keeps moving. In fact, I have an announcement for Mary offline. Things are moving, Mary, and things are changing. No, I'm just
I can't
making
wait.
No, we'll be back next week on Lessons in Leadership. See you then. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, the Helix, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Fedway Associates Inc., Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Veolia, Resourcing the World, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media.
Life is unpredictable. Health insurance shouldn't be. For over 90 years, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey has provided quality, affordable health plans to New Jersey residents. We have served generations of New Jersey families and businesses and are committed to driving innovations that put you at the heart of everything we do. Our members are our neighbors, our friends, and our families. We're here when you need us most. Horizon, proud to be New Jersey.